my wonderful solution and Caribbean people. Today we go in berserk on some lobster. Is that fresh lobster still alive? Well, bellies, get in there. We're gonna go straight into the pan because all we got is 10 minutes, right? Keep that in mind. Bada beam. Pan of salt water, lobster in. He's alive, so he's gonna flip a little bit. I'm just gonna hold him down for a second so he doesn't make a splatter. Okay, we're good to go. Now we're gonna serve this lobster on a fresh fruit salsa, and we're going to place it. Since lobster is an exotic food, we're going to use some exotic herbs, and we're going to use some fresh red basil and a little bit of peppermint in our fruit salsa. Our fruit salsa is going to be a combination of two types of mangoes, Julie mango and mango kutla, or cutlass mango as it's called, a little bit of cabbage, some watermelon, some five finger or star fruit, which I've already peeled, some fresh pomme d'amour and love apple, and some seasoning peppers, onions, a little bit of l'oignon as we call it, or scallions, the proper English name, and my leftover bits of shining bush that grows all in the corners of your plants and in the fresh green corners of your yard, and you're always pulling them out. Let's start using them. And a little bit of cucumber to get that nice water flavor in there. They're going to create a nice juice after they get the salt and the vinaigrette. Our vinaigrette is going to be our leftover passion fruit vinaigrette, and we have a nice tropical vinaigrette there. So besides having all those tropical fruit, we have a vinaigrette that has passion fruit in it, it has gooseberry, and it has guava, and now we're going to infuse it with some tamarind. I'm just taking a tamarind ball, which is a bunch of sugar and tamarind paste, as you know, and I'm just going to stir it in there, so it's all going to dissolve. As the sugar dissolves, the tamarind paste will dissolve, and we should have an excellent tropical vinaigrette. So there's gooseberry, guava, passion fruit, and tamarind in there in our basic vinaigrette, which is oil, water, vinegar, or lime juice. I use olive oil for health purposes. Let's get a taste of this. Heaven, absolute heaven. You guys got to try it. A medley of fruits in some vinaigrette. Nice little sweet and tart and savory flavors going on. Our lobster is coming to a boil, so let's get going on our fruit salsa. Now, we've got our mangoes already sliced. So we're going to dice that bad boy up, cut it into strips, and then into cubes. And that all goes into our bowl of fruits. Let's get rid of the vinaigrette for a while. We're going to get our Julie mango. So we have two different types of flavors in there and textures. The Julie mango is a little more firm because it's a little greener, or more green, as my nephew would tell me. I'm always getting corrected in the English language by my little siblings. Now we're going to put in some cabbage, some raw cabbage, to create some texture. So you get a little crunch in there, and a little bite, and a little softness, and a little sweetness, and a little tartness. There we go. Then our watermelon, which I've already put some in there, but I'm going to still put another piece just that you see that I've actually put some in. We got a nice bunch of watermelon in that bowl already. We're going to throw in some onions. We're going to throw in some seasoning peppers, some fresh scallions, and I'm going to save my shining bush leaves to the top. I'm going to chop some cucumbers in there. Okay, folks. Cucumber is going to be the one that's going to release all the nice juices after the salt comes into contact with it. So we dice that nice and small also. So every bite is going to be a burst of mango and watermelon and star fruit. And in goes our fresh basil, red leaf basil. Supposed to be sweeter than the green one. Just roll it up into a little bunch. And that's going to create some interesting colors and textures in our fruit salsa also. And last and by no means least, our mint. I'm not going to put in too much because this is peppermint. It's a lot stronger than, this is the regular mint, and this is peppermint. If you touch this, it's going to be minty. If you touch this one, it's going to be even more minty. It's going to be like like twice as pungent as this one. So always be careful when you're using peppermint instead of regular mint, because it can be a little overpowering. Okay, so in goes our fresh mint. So just imagine all those flavors bouncing around in your mouth with every bite of lobster and fruit salsa. Okay, one more piece of love apple. I'm going to cut a couple pieces for garnish. Instead of dicing them, I'm going to leave them nice and long like this. Okay. Alright, so put this aside. Let's get our board all cleaned up. Okay, now our 5-finger. Piece of that in there also. Now we dicing up some of our carambola or 5 fingers into that fruit salsa. And for even more color, I'm going to put in some red local bell peppers, since we have some seasoned peppers in there. You know, red is always a color that people like. People like eating in the eye, and red, you know, usually tickles people's palates or their fancy. Everybody likes red. Very few people don't like red. Now, I'm even going to put in a little guava in there, make it interesting. Let's see how thick this guava is. Let's just get the outside of it. A couple outside pieces. Yeah. I don't want to get any seed in there. I got some seed in there. We don't want anybody suing the chef for broken dentures or anything of that nature. So some nice little... I'm going to leave the guava in slivers to make it a little different. So that it shows up in there. There we go. Good. Now for our vinaigrette. I'm going to strain the vinaigrette over this because there are so many passion fruit seeds and so many different things happening in there. That's going to be wonderful. Now we toss that beautiful fruit salsa up, and we're going to wait for our lobster to boil, and we're going to grill some of it and toss it in there, and we're going to have an excellent dish, Caribbean people. Look at the panorama of colors in there. Oh, I'm ready to just eat that just as it is, people. I'm so excited to be back here with you guys. I'm sorry we took so long to come back on air. Ready, Set, Cook went off for reasons, well, I'll explain sometime down the road. Probably will take a little time to do that. But now we got our nice fruit salsa. Okay guys, I think our lobster is just about ready. Straight out of the pan, so I'm going to give it a little dunk in a little ice bath so it's a little manageable for my tender hands that are made for loving and caressing. And that's what I do with my food. I love and caress it. Very passionate about food and about keeping people's palates content. So we got this nice little lobster there. We give it a little pat before we go and press his tail. Okay. Got a big old butcher knife. Get that smack down as center of the lobster. Down the tail. Okay, doke. Twist off. Oh, all those juices. Oh. Now what we did in the old days, we take a little bit of wine, like I'm about to do, and you pour into this bad boy there, if you're man enough. And you get all that lovely ocean flavor and nutrients from this thing. So we're gonna put this bad boy aside until we're ready for him. And we're gonna deal with Mr. Lobster here. Get the grill going. Got my hands washed up a bit. It can get a little messy, but it's gonna be lovely eating. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do this lobster two styles for you. I'm gonna first put some in some Creole sauce. Let me get my hands wiped up. I'm gonna throw some in some Creole sauce for you, and I'm also gonna grill half of it so we have a bunch of different flavors and textures and things happening in there. So we pull the vein out of the lobster, as we can see, very clear, that goes out. And we have two lovely lobster tails here. I'm gonna give this a little bit of garlic, just a little garlic in there. If you don't want your garlic to burn, what you can do is you can pull the meat out from the back here, right? And get your garlic in the back section in here so the flavors permeates the lobster, because lobster meat doesn't really take flavor very much. You have to really, let it macerate and marinate for it to pick up any flavors. So we have a nice piece of lobster here. We're going to grill that. Down on the grill. And our little bit of Creole sauce we had left over here. I'm going to get this fire going. And our other piece of lobster, we're going to take that bad boy and cut it into little wedges there, or navarines as they call them, little cylinders, right into our Creole sauce that we had pre-made. We had made some Creole sauce earlier. Get rid of this board. Get ready to start plating our lovely lobster. Okay, so we get our lettuce. And we're going to do a chiffonade of lettuce like we did in our very first segment, if you remember what that was. We cut it like a bird's nest. And that's usually a very sexy little look, a little different, makes eating a little easier. Voila. Fruit salsa. Come on, Mr. Lobster, get yourself cooked up. Oh, doesn't that look lovely? I'm gonna take it out and let that part grill also. This one's ready to go. That's off. So we have our nice lobster Creole. Yeah. Two styles of lobster. And we got our lobster salsa coming up here. Oh, it smells so good. Our lobster meat goes right in here. We get some of our lovely fruit salsa. We're gonna mix it all in. I'm not gonna put all the salsa because it's gonna hide all my lobster. This is so good, Caribbean people. One of my favorites. I don't prepare this to anybody. Just my girlfriend, my wife, my mother, my son. Not any and everybody gets this. Look at this. This is so good. So we have two styles of lobster here. Now, cherries, Caribbean people, in case you didn't know, I probably told you that on our last program that I used to do. Cherries are the richest source of vitamin C that you can get anywhere, okay? Nothing to test this. So we top it with a rich vitamin C cherry. Maybe we get a little bit of radish, just to make our plate look sexy. Get some radish around our plate. We don't have to put it in any uniform way, just to create a little carnival. And we got a beautiful lobster in a fruit salsa with a little bit of warm lobster Creole there. You can have that with some garlic bread, a little rice, pasta, whatever tickles your fancy. I'm staying off the starches. At my age, we don't need the starches on the carbs and all this. Some healthy salad, some protein, some good exercise, and you're good to go, Caribbean people. Give this a shot, tell me what you think. This is heaven on earth. Nice little garnish, and we're good to go.
The fats, in which you get oils, butters, and avocado. Avocado is actually a fat. It's not a vegetable like some people think. Now, healthy eating is based on planning your meals on those food groups.